Okay, so today we'll be talking about the differences between Indonesian mangas and English mangas. So I hope you enjoy the video. So for today, I'll be using this English My Hero Academia manga published by Viz Media as the representative of all English mangas. Again, there's a lot of different publishers, Del Rey, Seven Seas, Kodansha, a lot of different English publishers, but today I'll be using Viz Media. Okay, so to start the video off, basically there's two different types of publisher. There's LX Media and there's MNC. So for LX Media and MNC, they're both different companies, such as let's say Viz Media versus 7C. So of course they're both different, right? So right here we got LX Media logo for The Promised Neverland, as you can see in the very corner, and we got MNC for Death Note. So let's just see a close-up. So that's the logo for all the Indonesian mangas, LX Media or MNC, either one of them. They're the most common one. Again, there are a lot of different types of publishers, but these two are the most common publishers, and the most common publisher you'll see in my manga collection. Now the other two types of manga publishers, which are also technically the same, are Akasha and Level Comics. So as you can see in the picture right here for Goku Shufudo and my Record of Ragnarok manga, there's a logo that says Akasha and Level Comics. Basically, MNC owns Akasha, and then LX Media owns Level Comic. So basically, Akasha and Level Comic are both for adults. Either they're very gory, either they're very sexual. So it's just basically for a more adult type of view. It's not for all ages. Meanwhile, LX Media and MNC are for all ages. So I hope you get the point what I'm trying to say. So it goes like this: LX Media and Level Comics are one team, and then Akasha and MNC are also one team. Now I'll be going through the different types of mangas and different types of published mangas in Indonesia. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so basically right here we have the most basic type of manga, and ignore my dog in the corner, by the way, she's just sniffing some mangas. But anyways, so we have the Promised Neverland type, which is basically the most thinnest and cheapest type of manga in Indonesia, and as you can see, it's very, very thin. If I were to compare with the Viz Media, you can just clearly see how thin the Promised Neverland manga is. It's just super, super thin, and the reason for that is because this uses newspaper paper. By that I mean this uses the most like cheapest paper you can get, which is newspaper paper, like exactly as I said. Hence why the paper is like very, very thin. It's just like the whole manga is thin itself, but this is not a fake. Why? Because there's the logo right here, so it's licensed, and even back here it's licensed. And if you cannot find the logo, such as for example my Sanzo Kuo manga, for some reason LX Media didn't put the logo on the side, maybe they forgot or something, but basically if you open the inside, like in one of the first pages, there will be this writing which basically says how it's published by LX Media and stuff like that, and it's like their rights and they're the one who licensed this manga. Or if you cannot find it in the spines, usually it's at the back. As you can see, there's the LX Media logo, so I don't know why there's no logo in the spines, but it is licensed and it's not fake. Every single manga I have are either licensed by LX Media, MNC, Akasha, or Level Comics. So another one right here is the Death Note one, which is basically published by MNC, as you can see the logo right there. But again, same as the Promised Neverland one, it's very, very thin, and like if we were to compare with the Viz Media one, we can just clearly see how thin that is, and it's like way, way smaller than the Viz Media manga. But it is a real manga, it's licensed by MNC, the logo right there also. So yeah, this is also using newspaper paper. Even though MNC and LX Media are different type of publishers, they both use newspaper paper for some of the mangas. And let's say for Death Note, because it's already like in last generation type of anime, right? This is probably only about $1 now, they sell it. And then while the Promised Neverland's about $2, because of course it's like new generation, it's like trending and everything like that. So that's the price difference. So now that we have covered that, basically there's another type, which is the Level Comics or Akasha. But in this term, I'll be using Level Comics for the example. It is also as thin as the Promised Neverland or the Death Note one, because again, it is using newspaper paper, but the difference is it is slightly bigger than the Promised Neverland. Like you can just clearly see how the Viz Media manga and the Level Comics manga aren't that different in terms of size, but of course the thickness is way, way different. So if I were to compare with the Promised Neverland manga right here, we can just clearly see how the Promised Neverland manga is way, way smaller. So that's the difference. So another type I want to talk about is this one, which is using book paper. As you can see, it's very, very thick compared to like if I were to put them side by side, you can just clearly see how thin the Promised Neverland one is and how thick the Tokyo Ghoul one is. And if I were to compare with Viz Media, it is slightly catching up. It's still not as thick, of course, still way thinner than the Viz Media one, but it is starting to get there. And this using book paper, which means it's basically like an actual like high quality paper. So it's like obviously way more high quality. That's why the price is about $3, or lowest $2, but the highest is like probably $4. Like let's say for Demon Slayer right here is actually about $4 including shipping, because if I were to compare with Tokyo Ghoul, Demon Slayer is actually way bigger than Tokyo Ghoul for some reason. As you can see in the size, it's way, way bigger. And in the same time, if I were to compare with Viz Media, it's still not as big, not as thick, but it is getting there. So yeah, it's not as thick either, but it's really, really getting there. So we're kind of catching up. Anyways, this is by LX Media and this one's by MNC. I want to, just give an example from each publisher just so you know what I'm talking about. And not all LX Media book paper mangas are like this. There are also some that are in this size, which is basically like Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and a lot many more. I just don't know why Demon Slayer is slightly bigger than most of the other book paper mangas, so I don't know why that that is, but I mean, whatever. I'm very sorry, my dog. She's basically sleeping in the mangas, but yeah. So anyways, she's so cute. Okay, so right here we got, again, as I said, level comics, and it is not as thick as the book paper manga. Like if I were to compare with Tokyo Ghoul, it is still not as thick. I don't know if you can clearly see in the camera, but basically it's not as thick, slightly a bit thinner. And if I were to compare with Viz Media, obviously like Viz Media is thicker. So Viz Media is thicker than any single Indonesian mangas. Oh, actually it's slightly wider than Viz Media manga, as you can see there. But yeah, other than that, it's still the same. And the level comics and Akasha mangas are slightly the same size. So like even though they're from MNC and one is from LX Media, they're still the same size. So that's that. And also they're kind of the same thickness, but sometimes it varies. There could be some thinner, there could be some thicker, just depends on the manga content itself. So the final example right here, we got Club Activity So What, which is basically a 2-in-1 mangas, and it's a one-shot, as you can clearly see from the logo right there, a one-shot, and it is by LX Media, and this one's actually quite a good quality. It's still using book paper. So then like if I were to compare with Viz Media, obviously the one-shot is gonna be way thicker than Viz Media just because it's two combined into one. But other than that, the size is kind of still bigger in Viz Media, like if you can see right there. Other than that though, we are thicker than Viz Media if it's a 2-in-1. So that's really cool. And yeah, I hope you understand the video, and I'm very sorry if I don't explain it well enough. I'm trying my best to explain it, and I hope you guys understand that basically if there's a logo of like either this one, which is Level Comics, or this one, which is LX Media, this one's MNC, or even like this one right here, which is Akasha, it means it's licensed. It's just that it's different from English mangas, because English manga, they're licensed by a different company than Indonesians, right? Obviously, because different language, which means their design is also gonna be different. So for example, excuse my dog. For example, right here we got Citrus, which is published by Seven Seas, right? And then we got My Hero Academia published by Viz Media, and then we got There Beyond the Beyond published by Shuangyi, or Chuangyi. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. But basically, they're all different publishers, and as you can see, they're all different types. Citrus is way taller than Viz Media, and like There Beyond the Beyond is way thinner than Viz Media. But that doesn't mean any of them are fake, right? That's just published by a different company. So that's what I'm trying to say within this video, that LX Media and MNC are an actual company in Indonesia, and also like Akasha and Level Comics are also under them. So like they're not a fake, it's just that they're from a different company. So just because they're different, it doesn't mean any of them are fake. It's just that they're from a different company. So I hope that this video could educate you at least a bit. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys next time.